Today we continue our discussion in Revelation chapter 13's two beasts, folks. Today I'm going to show you something that's going to shock the church world. It's known by certain scholars, but it's not preached in mainstream. And what you're going to hear today is really going to shock you because the church mainstream has never preached it. As I said in my open, today I'm going to shock you folks. This is known by scholars. There are numerous credible scholars, and I will be going over them and showing you what they say. Not even so much as what I say. But when you see what I'm going to show you today, it's going to shock you. Because we have been taught our entire life, or at least the entire time we've been saved, and even unsaved people are aware of this. This is going to be contradictory to what we've been taught, and yet it's going to be right from the Word of God, right from the Greek, right from other credible scholars even. So it's not just so much me saying this. By the way, I want to apologize for taking so long to get back to you. I was out a week. I've not been on my game. I've been kind of sort of sick, not even the best right now. So permit me to stumble and fumble, please. Okay? I'm not really here, but I'm trying. But I need to give you this message. Before we start, I want to make sure those of you that did not see last week's broadcast, please go over to CochraneMinistries.com. Upper right-hand corner of the screen, click on Previously Aired Shows. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll find last week's show or the last broadcast. I need you to see that because we learned some important points, folks. And the part that I want to emphasize in this teaching is what we have been being heard from by mainstream, and that is that in Revelation chapter 13, we have two guys there, the Antichrist and the false prophet. And yet what this teaching has been showing you is that the Antichrist is not even in the first beast. Did you hear what I said? That's why I want you to watch last week's broadcast. I want you to see what I showed last week. I showed last week how the first beast, hear me folks, the first beast is simply the sum total of Daniel chapter 7's four beasts. Okay? I want you to get this. I also want to reiterate what I said last week because I normally give you previously aired shows. I like give snippets from it. I'm just going to try to recap because I don't have a lot of time. Some important points that I made before I continue. One important truth is this: meanings do not change. If a beast is a kingdom in Daniel, then a beast is still a kingdom in Revelation chapter 13 or anywhere else in the Word. You see it. The meaning does not change. Same thing with horns. You're going to be looking at horns. Horns are kings in Daniel. Horns are also kings in Revelation. The meaning does not change. Could you imagine me doing that to you? Or could you imagine the English language changing every other day or something like that? Today, this word meant this, but, a day later, it didn't mean the same thing. That's nuts. And all scholars will agree that the meaning remains constant throughout the word, and yet what do? We take it as a kingdom, because as we're told it's a kingdom, a beast is a kingdom in Daniel chapter 7, yet we change it, the meaning, in Revelation chapter 13, to a guy. Now, folks, that's crazy. And what I pointed out is you want to find a guy, you're going to find the guy in a beast as being the horn. He's the ruler. He's the king. Now, therein is a problem why we allow ourselves on this one word, beast, to change the meaning from Daniel to a guy in Revelation from a kingdom. It's nuts. I'd say it's just ignorance, folks. We can't do that. The meaning will remain constant, and any decent scholar will tell you it remains constant. And what we saw, again, as we were looking last week, we went through the four beasts. Okay? Revelation 13, we saw that the sum total of Daniel chapter 7 are the four beasts. Now, this part's important. If you understand that you're looking in the first beast, in Revelation chapter 13, the sum total of Daniel 7's four beasts, how's that a guy? Right? And get a load of this. Where does the Antichrist come in? After the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 7, you have the little horn coming in verse 8. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7, chapter 7, verse 7, he's looking at the 10-horned beast. And as he considered in verse 8, he considered the horns, behold, another little horn comes up. Now my point is this. Revelation chapter 13, we have again only the four beasts, right, that are seen in Daniel chapter 7. You have the lion, the leopard, the bear, and the 10-horned beast, all in the first beast, folks. Shy of the eagle wings. And I pointed out, why aren't the eagle wings even there? They were plucked. They're gone. They're not going to be there during this 42-month window, which verse 5, Revelation 13, gives us. And one big major point. Listen to this. Again, if you understand that Revelation 13's first beast is simply the four beasts, I ask you, where's your guy? We can count. Any little preschooler that can count to 11 can tell you that the little horn, which comes up after the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 7, the little horn pops up after he's looking at the fourth beast. This little horn is the 11th horn. Revelation chapter 13's first beast only contains 10 horns, folks. Now, this was a big point I made in last week's broadcast. If you can count to 11, and you understand that the little horn is the 11th horn, and there's only 10 in Revelation chapter 13's first beast, you're talking an impossibility to say, even suggest, the Revelation chapter 13's first beast has the Antichrist, the little horn. He's not even there. Now, that's just the no-brainer part of it, folks. That's just the part where, as long as you can count, to sit and suggest that the little horn, the 11th horn, is in the first beast that only has 10, that's impossible, or somebody doesn't know how to count here. And I think we can count. It's just improper teaching, folks. We're not taking a step back. What does happen in Daniel chapter 7? Get a load of this. As he's looking at the fourth beast, Daniel is, then this other little horn comes up, doesn't it? What happens in Revelation chapter 13? After we see this first beast, another beast pops up, comprised of 2 horns this time, folks. Are you with me? Let me even give you a little nugget here on how messed up sometimes our teachings are. I'm just sidestepping, but I want you to hear. We are told, I've been told, you've been told, the Antichrist, who is the little horn, the Antichrist is going to be in charge of the world, basically. There's going to be a one world government, one world order. You've got the Antichrist, who's basically ruling. He's a world leader. He's in charge of the world. Now, I know I'm not the only one that's heard this. If I am, then I apologize for even showing this to you. But I want to give you a little nugget to chew on that doesn't take much to work with. This world leader, this Antichrist, we're dealing with an oxymoron right here, folks. And it is this. And it is, I said this on YouTube, by the way. You have internet access. Go over to youtube.com/Cochran Ministries, and you'll get to see up to about 80 teachings I do on there. And I mentioned this on YouTube that they got kind of a little kick on it. And it is the truth. This world leader, his name is the little horn, right? He's the, okay. All right, before I go any further, can you hear the oxymoron just right there? The little horn. I don't have to even give you any more. I can almost stop right here, but I'm asking you guys a question because I want you to rationalize this out in yourself. What makes a horn little or regular size, or as you see, like even in the next chapter over, Daniel chapter 8, you see a smaller horn, a taller horn. What makes a horn large or small or normal, or does it have to do with his stature? How tall he is? One guy's 6 inches taller than the other, or how great his intellect is, or how something about his persona, maybe is his voice. No, folks. And I know you know this. I know you already know this. What makes a horn small or tall? Or in this case, the little dude. The puny little horn, which is I like to call him the puny little horn. It's his rule. It's his kingdom. It's the strength and size of his kingdom. Are you getting this? Are you hearing me, folks? It has nothing to do with his stature or his persona, nothing to do with his physique, period, at all. No, not one small horn is 6 inches smaller than a taller horn. No. His kingdom, his rule, and the strength of it and the size of it. That's what makes a horn small, regular, tall. So have you clued into this? Or have you got this, folks? Are you with me on this? Here's your oxymoron. A world leader who's a puny little horn. An oxymoron. No, he's never going to be a world leader. And folks, I don't have time to get into this, but I got to get the graph. You'll learn so many different things, including this, and I make it all make sense to you. I give you teachings you've never heard before. It's a lifetime of revelations, and in here is this. And we're going to talk about a couple pages in my book in a minute. But you need to get the graph. You'll learn these things on how you'll hear truths like this that you can chew on. You can even regurgitate them if you want to and chew on them again, because they're nice little nuggets that let you know the world leader, he would be the tallest horn there is. Right? I mean, he would be the tallest horn there ever was, but he's not. He's a puny little horn. Anyway, I want to get to the second beast. We don't have much time at all. Naturally, I never have much time. I want to show you the second beast. Again, what we learned, a beast is a kingdom. It's not a man. You want to find a man, you're going to find it in the horn when you want to look at a beast. Horns are kings. That's the person. Now, the first beast, we saw the description of a crazy-looking guy. Actually, we saw the sum total of Daniel chapter 7's 4 beasts. Now we're going to Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 or 10. I think the first beast is 1 through 10. Now we're going to look at the second beast, folks. And here's where some of you are going to start being floored. By the time I'm done, you're going to be in shock. But I have to kind of hurry, okay? Here's the second beast. The second beast, folks. This one's going to be comprised of 2 horns. And I'm going to tell you this is not a guy either. A beast doesn't become a guy when it's a kingdom elsewhere in the Bible. Excuse me. Verse 11. And I beheld another beast, just like Daniel chapter 7. He's looking and there's another horn that comes up. Now we got another beast coming up. You're going to find your little horn right here, as I discussed last week. This is the only place he can be. It's impossible for him to be in the first. To reiterate, people cannot suggest the first beast has the Antichrist even in it. If it's only comprised of 10 horns, there's only one possible place for the Antichrist, and that's going to be in the second beast. Because there's only 10 in the first. And the Antichrist is the 11th. The no-brainer part. Again, preschooler could figure this out. Verse 11, and I beheld another beast, another kingdom, coming up out of the earth, and he had, get a load of this, folks, we get confused sometimes, as I said last week, when it says he. It's not referring to a guy. When it says he, his, and him. No, the he, his, and him pertains to these beasts. You'll see it repeatedly in the first beast. We're going to hear it again. He, his, and him, all in the second beast. And yet it's referring to a male beast, I guess. It's not a female beast. It's a male beast. Again, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. This is a beast, folks, not a person who speaks as a dragon. That'd be crazy. And he exercises, get a load of this. This confirms we're dealing with 2 different beasts. And he, verse 12, and he exercises all power of the first beast before him. So the first beast was a beast just as well as this guy is. This guy, this he, this him. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. And he causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast. The first beast, not worship the Antichrist, but the beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And it wasn't a wound on a person, it was a wound on a beast. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. People say, this is going to be the false prophet. Folks, you want to hear something which we just had the answer to. I'm going to give you a little nugget right here, a little revelation that God, I don't want to say, God told me this. But anyway, get a load of this. I go right back to verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Folks, I ask you one simple question. How does a dragon speak? Dragons don't speak, do they? Dragons do not speak. But when they do, what do? They breathe fire out of their mouth. That's this beast breathing fire out of its mouth. And it says it right there in verse 13. It's a nice little revelation for you that you would have if you had my book. No person is going to be breathing fire out of the mouth. No. This is a kingdom breathing fire. And it says right here, this is how a dragon speaks. They don't talk. Dragons breathe fire. Right back to verse 13. And doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth, by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So this is the second beast referring to the first. We're still talking two kingdoms, folks. Hold on, buckle up. And he had power to give, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and causes that many who do not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, we're at verse 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand of their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now here's where we're going. You guys are going to be shocked. Verse 18, here is wisdom. This is going to take wisdom. And some of the wisdom we already have, but not like we need it. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Now here's where we say this is why we've always made it a guy. But I want you to listen carefully to this one part right here, folks. It doesn't make a guy a beast or a beast a guy. Here, listen one more time. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, or the number of the kingdom, for it is the number of a man. But that doesn't make the man the beast, or the beast the man. With me so far, right, folks? I mean, I hope you get this. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now here's where your jaws are going to be dropping. Here's where you're going to be floored. Here's where I'm going to have a hard time showing you what I need to show you. For it is the number of a man. Now, 666 is basically 666. That's what that means. 666. Some of your Bibles are translated that way. Buckle up. It's going to take me a second to give it to you, but I want to give it to you. I got very little time left. Mainstream understands, if you sit and look at enough teachings, you've heard teaching. In fact, many of you already know, man's number is 6, isn't it? None of you are going to be floored at that at all. At all. Fine with that. You've heard good teachings on it, and that is common knowledge. But I'm going to give you some wisdom here, folks. And the first part of the argument is going to be a little iffy with you, but I want you to get it. You folks, I want you to do this yourself. I want you to go on the internet. You have Strong's Concordances. Internet's really easy. You can get a whole lot of information, which I want to give you. In fact, I'm going to try to put up on the screen where I've been. All you got to do is put in this word. Listen to this. I want to read it one more time. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of a beast, for it is the number of a man. A man. What is that word right there? A man. In the Greek, do you know that the word is anthropos? In the Greek, it's the Greek word. In fact, you can go to the internet. Just put in Greek word 444. You're going to get this verse. And that's where it resides. Anthropos. You'll see all kinds of good studies on the word anthropos and what it means. And I want to give it to you. I want you to hear this for a moment, okay? Just reading stuff. If you guys are going to see, you could see this on the internet yourself. Or you just open up your concordance. Anyway. Again, the word anthropos. A man, human, mankind. Now, what I want to get right here, I want to point out when it says a man, as we're going to find and read right here, it's simply saying a man. That's like saying that's a man, that's an animal. That's what it means. It's not meaning a particular man. I'm going to show this to you. Get a load of this, folks. Definition of man, human, mankind. Usage, a man, one of the human race. Anthropos, 444, man. Also the generic term for mankind. The human race. People, including women and men. Again, anthropos relates to both genders, male and female, as both are created in the image of God, each equally vested with individual personhood, destiny, according to the Bible. The Bible uses 444, uses it about 560 times, and you guys, I will try to show you some of these websites to where you can see all the different references where it's being used. And it's always generically used for mankind, not a particular individual. In fact, let me show you another one. This is K. West, Great Truths to Live By, page 46. There are two words in the Greek which mean man. Anear, which refers to a male individual of the human race. Did you hear that? Anear, which refers to a male individual of the human race. In other words, a specific man, a particular man, right? And anthropos, which is the racial generic term and which has the general idea of mankind. Are you hearing me? Did you hear that? Did you hear what K. West said in his book, Great Truths to Live By? So, two words translated in the Greek to man. One, aner, one, anthropos, the other anthropos. One to a specific man, the other to the human race or mankind in general. Now, here is where the argument began, and here's where I would even be on board. What provoked all of this? Follow. If you have the word anthropos here, this is reading, for it is the number of a man, for it is the number of a anthropos. If you're going to say on the side of the argument that this is what anthropos means, and it's used in its usage, that it means mankind, how can you say, for it is the number of a anthropos? For it is the number of a mankind. That doesn't make any sense, does it? That's like saying, we'd have to have multiple mankinds around here, right? There'd have to be more than one mankind. For it is the number of a mankind. But you know what? That's not what is said in the Greek. Folks, buckle up. I'm going to give it to you real quick. Give it to you from my book. If you take out one word, you now understand why the word anthropos is there. I'm going to tell you real quick. All you have to do is take out one word. And now you have the meaning of why anthropos, again, is there. It doesn't say in the Greek, for it is the number of a anthropos, for it is the number of a mankind, a human race, a woman or child, all inclusive of man, a human being, anthropos. It doesn't say that. It says in the Greek, buckle up. I'm going to give you other scholars right now, other sources. I don't even want to tell you this. This is where it gets scary. It says, for it is the number of man, not the number of a man. The article a doesn't exist in the Greek, which is why it reads, for it is the number of anthropos. Listen, other scholars, folks, who know this, but mainstream doesn't talk about this because it shakes everybody up. Here's what I said in my book, page 198. The above is a mistranslation, which should read, for it is the number of man, not the number of a man. It's man's number, not a particular man's number. And folks, if you want to hear this, you automatically know, if I just take out that one word, a, or the article a, I now automatically have changed the meaning of what it says. If I say, for it is a number of man, I've changed the meaning right then and there. The whole thing's over with. You don't have to even guess if I'm saying anthropos. Listen. Hold on, some of you. Darrell W. Johnson, Discipleship of the Edge, an expository journey through the book of Revelation. This guy wrote this in 2004, page 249. I got 4 minutes to talk. Literally, John writes the number of a man. John does not use the article a. He does not say the number of a man. John uses no article, just man, anthropos, human, meaning not the number of a specific human, which would be aner, but a human number, an analogy. It is as if John were saying the beast is a superhuman force, but I can give it a human number. Anthony Charles Garland, a testimony, another scholar, folks. Remember, the first one was written in 2004. Darrell W. Johnson, Discipleship of the Edge. Look this up or get my book. I'm only quoting a few of the sources. You can look this up, folks. It's there for you to find. Anthony Charles Garland, A Testimony of Jesus Christ, Volume 1, a commentary of the book of Revelation, page 539. No article appears before the word man, so one would render the statement, it is the number of man. You've automatically changed the meaning, and now you understand why anthropos is there. John Kittle, another, I give you, again, folks, I'm not saying this, but I've researched this. This is why it's in my book. I need you folks to hear what is not popular to say. John Kitto, Henry Burgess, The Journal of Sacred Literature, page 285. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This rendering unfortunately conveys an inaccurate idea of the meaning of the original. Number of a man is certainly not a correct translation, for the article is lacking before the word man. The rendering ought decidedly to be man's number. Of this anyone may satisfy himself who would take the trouble to examine. Please examine, folks. The most literal, strict rendering would be, for man's number is, and his number 666. And this is probably the most accurate as well as the most literal translation. Did you hear that, folks? And I didn't say it. And other people are very, very well, other scholars, these some nice ones here. And there's more out there who already know this, but this shakes everybody to the core. They just can't, we know our number 6, but 666? Well, if that's what it says, it doesn't say for it is the number of a man. It says it is for it is the number of man. For it is the number of anthropos. No article A exists there. Now you have the meaning and understanding as to why anthropos is there. So what has this done? What has this done? If we're talking for it, the beast number is the number of man, if that's what the Greek reads, folks, if that's what it reads, and that is what it reads, we now have a new meaning. And again, no person is existing there in the second beast. No mention of a guy, no false prophet in the second beast or person. So none in the first. You have your little horn in the second beast, but that's just the only mention. That's where your little horn resides. But the beast doesn't all of a sudden become the man, and the man the beast. Folks, a horn's a horn, a beast is a beast. And 666 appears to belong, according to numerous reputable scholars that I ask you folks to just verify. You can do this yourself. It is the number of anthropos is what the Greek reads. You now are left with a different meaning, and not a guy there is the false prophet, nor the Antichrist is the first beast. You are simply dealing with two different beasts. Two different beasts, not two different guys. These are incorrect teachings, folks, and if you take the time to study, and if you get my book, go to CochraneMinistries.com. You can get this book. It's just $25, folks. It's 21 chapters, almost 300 pages, a lifetime of revelation that I put here. It took me years to write. You can get this. It's only $25. And if you want to preview this, you can go to CochraneMinistries.com. Middle of the screen, in the middle of the page, you can click on 9 chapters of videos for free, and you can watch 9 chapters, the first 9 chapters of this book. If you like the book, get the book. Call in an order. See you next time. Until then, take care and God bless.